abolish them. Department of Agriculture.
Abolish.
Gone.
Oh, man.
Department of Commerce.
Abolish.
Gone. Department of Defense.
Keep.
Keep it. Department of Education.
Abolish.
Gone. Energy.
Abolish.
Housing.
Except that energy ties in with the military.
Well, then we shove it under defense.
That's
The little
right.
bit that handles the nuclear,
Right, that ought to go under
plutonium
defense.
and so forth goes under defense, but we abolish the rest of it.
But, they asked him, Department of Agriculture,
Right,
abolish.
right. I watched-
Commerce,
yeah.
abolish. Education, abolish, et cetera. And I think in tweeting that, it kind of sets some boundary conditions, right, of a level of ambition that I don't think many people, they heard the words, but I don't think many people said, no, they're not really going to do, they're not really serious about going after that. What do you expect out of the Department of Government Efficiency? And, kind of, is the agenda going to be that ambitious? Or do you think it will hit the wall of some congressional reality and maybe they're just setting the boundary way out there that they can negotiate back from?
Well, first of all, I mean, I think if you extrapolate the growth of government, 2 or 3 decades into the future, we would get to a point where such a large percentage of the population work for the government that it would self-implode. And many people, very smart people, have also highlighted that our debt is too large. The U.S. country debt is too large, and that interest payments are now a huge part of the federal budget. And how can you possibly solve that if you don't shrink the size of government? Now, prior to the election, the papers said that both candidates were going to spend the same amount. So this kind of new department is I think, orthogonal to what most of the media thought Trump was going to do. I would add, I highly recommend everyone watch the 2-hour interview between Lex Friedman and Milei from Argentina. I think a lot of this is being provoked by him. He was recently in town and hung out with the Doge team. If you take him at his word for what has been accomplished in Argentina in such a short window of time, 6 to 9 months, it's pretty spectacular. And maybe it's important for someone to fact check that, but really remarkable what can happen if you improve efficiency. And, things like he got rid of a ton of regulation around rent control, and housing improved for everyone. And for me, that's like an of course that's what would happen. And so how do you tear this apart? We could simultaneously, if they're successful, see a reduction in government and an acceleration or a proliferation of growth, because you find out government's getting in the way. As I've said on the past 2 or 3 podcasts, Governor Shapiro in Pennsylvania keeps getting accolades for moving regulation out of the way.